Broadcasting from the center of the universe in Stony Creek, Ontario, Canada. This is the Renovating Life Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Kopak and Dan Carroll. And producer, Greg Natishan. Follow along on their journey to become real estate entrepreneurs and interview guests that will inspire you to take action in your life. Brought to you by Battlefield Real Estate Investments. Invest in real estate. Invest with Battlefield Real Estate Investments.
Yes, it is, folks. This is the Renovating Life Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us live, and thank you for sharing with a friend. We love that about you, right, Greg Natishan?
Yes.
And Steve Kopak.
Good morning.
The man amongst men.
A man amongst men.
How you doing today, brother?
Not bad. My ribs hurt a little bit.
Your what?
My ribs hurt a little bit.
Why? What'd you do?
Oh, man. Little Maria yesterday at basketball did a crossover on me, and my shoes slipped, and somehow I squished my ribs. I didn't fall. They just squished.
We're getting old.
Yeah, I am fucking
We're getting old. That's okay. We got somebody in studio that's going to help make us feel a lot better. We have an amazing guest today. Our guest today is a local entrepreneur. After moving from Florida over 25 years ago to pursue the love of a woman, he came to discover the love and passion for the city of Hamilton. The reputation of our fair city used to carry a negative reputation anywhere outside of its boundaries, but Max saw nothing but potential and pride within its people. With a simple message, Hamilton is home. Max branded its citizens with the pride of being a true Hamiltonian. Welcome to the show, Max Francis.
Woo!
No applause? Come on. I didn't commit that to memory.
I lost the
one
button.
Too many buttons. That I asked you to do.
Too many buttons. Greg, you fucked it up again.
Good Lord. And scene. We're going to cut.
Yeah, let's start over.
Yeah, right.
There's no starting over. One thing I learned in acting.
Here, move closer to the mic there.
There's no cutting and starting over. If
No.
you just keep going.
We don't run like that. This is just the real deal. We just run with it.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, man. We really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me. This is really cool. This setup is pretty dope.
It's all my idea.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. God. Working like crazy
Right.
all fucking day to get this shit up.
All day, for like forever. You put in a ton of work here. No, cool. Took the Uber in today too, so we're gonna have a good time today.
Yes, I did. I love the fact you guys had vodka waiting for me. It's like you know me or something.
Oh, well,
Right.
You got to do a bit of research, right?
Yeah, the research starts with the booze.
Yeah, I followed him around for a week. I was like, fuck, what's he ordering? What is that? What the fuck?
Yeah, we hire a private investigator just to see what our guests drank. Cool, man. Well, thanks for coming in. I mean, just right there in the intro, I mean, people know you as the true Hamiltonian. Hamilton is home, but I think what a lot of people don't know is you're not actually born here.
No, I'm actually originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Yeah.
Did
I get it right that you came here for a woman?
You know what? There were many factors involved, but
Sure.
there was definitely a woman involved. Yes.
It helps.
So the thing was, when you get to a new city or a new community, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen. And I found out right away that the people here are just genuine and they're real.
Yep.
But it's real in a good and a bad way. I found that Hamiltonians, if they love you, they really love you. They'll be like, man, you're a good dude. Let's go have a beer.
Yeah.
But if they don't love you, they'll be like, you're a goof. I want to fight you.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like knowing where I stand. I like that. I'm all about genuine people.
Well, they're Hamiltonians. We don't hide shit.
No, they
we're
do
a little
not.
bit too real,
I
maybe.
think we have a reputation of being like pretty rough and tough. I know you've mentioned before, going to Toronto and spending time in clubs or whatever.
No, not clubs. So my whole Toronto experience is I've been acting for almost 15 years now.
Right.
So whenever I would get an audition, they're always in Toronto because all the casting agencies are in Toronto.
I see, yeah.
So I would have to drive to Toronto to go to these auditions.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute you get there, you walk into it. Here's the way casting works that a lot of people don't realize. When they're casting for a part, They know exactly what they're looking for. So if they're looking for a black guy with a shaved head, you walk into a room and there's 50 black guys with shaved heads and beards. It's like 50 different versions of me.
Right.
Taller, shorter, fatter, skinnier, better dressed. Like,
So you just stand next to the short fat guy. So you really stand out.
exactly.
That's the key to success. If
But
you're
the
taking
only
anything
difference
home
is
today.
all those other guys are actually from Toronto.
Right.
So you walk into that room and they're like, "What part of Toronto are you from?" And I'm like, "Hamilton." They're like, "Oh, what part of Toronto is that?" I'm like, "No, other side of the Skyway."
So what? So that's the smell.
That's what I hate. Like, someone asks you where you're from. For the longest time, I was embarrassed to say I was from Hamilton because people know where Hamilton is. So someone would be like, "Hey, where are you from?" From Stony Creek. "Oh, where's that?" And
Yeah,
you're like,
same.
"Fuck."
Yeah.
It's right beside Hamilton, and they look at you all disgusted, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
like fuck off."
That's the exact response I got.
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh, why would you live there?"
Right.
And I was like, "No, I love it there." And then the one guy, and this
It's a waterfall capital
this
of
got
the
me
world. Come
through
on.
the heart when he said it. He looked me dead in the eye and goes, "You don't have to lie to us." I was like, "What?" I was ready to throw down with 50 black guys that looked like me that day. Just me and 50 black guys fighting.
Based on the like the reputation alone, a 50-to-1 ratio is what Toronto would need to try to take on anybody from Hamilton.
Yeah.
So,
For sure, right?
I think it's only people from Ontario.
yeah.
I don't like. I'd run into like Rough Riders fans or fucking BC fans, and they all love Hamilton.
Yeah.
But like you go to fucking Toronto, and they're like, "Oh, Hamilton, whatever."
I know. I feel like Toronto has that opinion about a lot of people, though.
Yes.
It's like a New York wannabe.
Yeah. New York wannabe.
And there goes our ratings. Cut in half from 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Actual second funny part about that story, that's how this whole Hamilton is Home got started, because I got home that day and I decided I was going to make a shirt that says, "I love Hamilton," to wear to Toronto every single time I went there, just to say,
Yeah.
screw
fuck
you
you.
to them.
Yeah.
But the second part of that story is I did an interview on CHCH with Annette Ham, who's amazing.
Yep.
And sometimes people tell me that I'm a celebrity or whatever. I'm not a celebrity. Annette Ham, Bob McCown, those are celebrities. Those are my people.
Yeah.
So I did an interview with her and I told that story. But the problem when you're on TV is they edit it. So the only part people heard was Toronto. So then for the longest time, everyone thought I was from Toronto and I moved here from Toronto.
They
so
edited it to make it sound like you were from Toronto?
No, but just like if you
Just
catch
how
it in the wrong
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would get into cabs and the cab driver would be like, "Are you the Hamilton is Home guy?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, I heard on the news you're from Toronto."
Man, like when I first came into your store, they're looking for Hamilton shit because we sold a house to people coming from like Oakville area. I thought you were from Toronto because of that fucking CHCH thing.
See?
And then he tells me, he's like, "Oh, I'm from Florida." I'm like, "No, I got to Google that shit." I went in my truck and I Googled it. I'm like, "He's lying to me. He's from Toronto." The news said he was from Toronto.
No, I was telling that story, but I guess I told that story wrong and everyone assumed I was from Toronto.
Oh, okay.
And to this day, I still get dogged by it. "Oh, why are you selling this
Really?
stuff? You're from Toronto." I'm like, "Well, actually, I'm further away than that, but you know what? Go with
Right.
whatever you want."
Yeah. I love how this started, though. I mean, it really was just showing pride,
Yeah.
right? And then what happened from there? You had people asking you, "Where'd you get that shirt?"
So here's what happened. I made a shirt that said "I Heart Hamilton," and I started wearing it. And a buddy of mine who's he's kind of like a graphic designer, computer whiz guy. He saw it. And he looked me dead in the eye and he's like, "Dude, that's a ripoff of I Heart New York." And I'm like, "Yeah, so?" He goes, "You're a smart guy. Come up with your own stuff. Don't rip off someone else's."
Okay.
And I was like, "Wow."
Motherfucker, you're so
No,
honest.
but that's what I love
Break
about
my heart.
Hamiltonians. They're like legit real.
I'll tell you.
No beating around. And I'm like, "You know what? You're right." So I sat there for a couple of weeks and I came up with like 8 different slogans. And I had them all turned into T-shirts, and I would take turns wearing them. And every single time I wore the Hamilton is Home one, everyone would stop me. "Where can I get that shirt?
Right.
Where can I get that shirt? Where can I get that shirt?" So at first, it wasn't a business for me. I had a great job. Like, I was happy the way I was. So I started making them, but I would give them to my friends, and a lot of my friends at the time were musicians, bartenders, people like that. So the musicians would wear it on stage, the bartenders would wear it to work. So their friends would start messaging me, "Hey, Tommy Swick was wearing your shirt at a event. Like, where can I get one?" Or,
Tommy.
"Hey, I was at this bar and the bartender was wearing the shirt. Where can I get one?" So I kept making the shirts and I kept giving them away because I thought, oh, how cool is it that people want to wear this shirt? And then after a while, I was like, holy cow, I can't afford to keep giving these shirts away.
Right.
It's costing me a fortune. So then I started making them and I started charging $20, like $20 a shirt, and I would just hand deliver it.
Yep.
And this is where it actually gets super messed up. Because a lot of my friends are musicians or bartenders, they work evenings. So they're working in bars or whatever venues at night. So I would put the T-shirts into a paper bag and I would go deliver it to like a bar or a concert venue, whatever. And I would hand them the brown bag and they would hand me money. And everyone thought I was selling drugs.
Oh, come on.
So I would have people chasing me out of the venue.
Clear bag. Use a clear bag.
You got any whites or greens on you? I'm like, I'm not a drug dealer. And then they would yell, I'm not a cop. I'm like, oh, dear God.
Here's a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, like,
okay, you did that yourself, man. Like, you should have put it in
the
a clear
brown
bag.
bag was
the brown bag
not-
was
No,
like
it was a brown bag with handles, though.
Oh, it was like
a rolled up brown
no.
bag.
Everybody knows nobody receives their Coke. With
I thought it was like
bag
a
with
lunch
handles.
bag or something.
No, it's like a brown, like it was like a little like shopping bag. with
Yeah,
brown
okay.
paper,
Oh, fuck.
Right.
I was honestly, I thought you had those big lunch bags and you
No,
rolled it up all crumpled and shit. And
No,
that
dude,
looks
come on.
suspect.
I'm
There
a
a
little
note in it?
classier than that.
Have a great day. Like a lunch bag I had given to your kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Hamilton Pride isn't a new thing, and
No.
it's not something that people like. You're not the first person to say I'm
Nope.
going to brand myself as being prideful from Hamilton.
Yeah.
What set you apart that made you so successful?
Two things. The first thing was when I started, there were 5 or 6 other companies selling Hamilton gear,
Right.
and they all made great merchandise, and they all had great products. But I didn't actually want to start a company. I actually wanted to buy their products, but none of the products said what I wanted it to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like they all had Hamilton stuff, but it didn't say what I felt. So
Maybe some graphics or something like that you didn't like.
No, it wasn't the graphics. It's just the message wasn't right. The
Oh, okay.
wording wasn't right. So when I came up with Hamilton is Home, I realized it wasn't the shirt, it was the message. It was the message that resonated.
It's simple.
And it's really simple. I
Yeah.
actually had a graphic artist once walk up to me and she goes, "I hate you." And I go, What? She goes, "I hate you." I go, "Why is that?" She goes, "I'm a graphic artist. I do this for a living. And the fact that you came up with 3 words," she goes,
You just had to choose the font.
Yeah.
How did you choose?
she
the
goes,
font?
"You're
What was
the
genius
bane
in
of
that?
my existence."
I used a Montserrat, font, non-bolded, and it just resonated with the people. What can I say?
There was thought that went into a lot of it, though. There was a lot of thought that went into the font.
There's some real trial and error, right?
Yeah. No. And there was thought that went into the gray, because we went with gray because
White's
steel,
too hard.
color of steel instead of white.
Okay.
The gold was still supposed to represent like metal or like steel also. So there were reasons behind the colors.
Interesting.
And stuff like
the,
that.
The gold is the tie cats, right? That's what it is. Come on.
Oh, no. Our original gold wasn't tie cat yellow.
Oh, no?
We switched to tie cat yellow a couple of years later when we realized that every team in Hamilton was black and gold, but not
Right.
gold. It was like that orange juice gold.
Yeah.
So we made sure that our colors synced with everyone else,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
so that people could wear those colors to a game,
Right.
and it fit right in.
Oh, okay.
So there was some thought that went into that. It's not just pure dumb luck.
Right. But, and again, so now you've got this, this T-shirt that you're wearing and representing yourself. You have people that are interested in it. And at what point, okay, now I'm going to start selling it.
Okay.
Just really not to lose money, it sounds like,
Yeah.
but not even to make a business. So what point does it become a business?
Okay, so here's what happened. I think I made 100 shirts. I took money from my day job. I made 100 shirts.
What were you doing at the time? Sorry.
I worked for an engineering company called Adotech Canada.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah, we worked.
Yeah.
I worked 4 10-hour shifts, and I had
Nice.
a 3-day weekend every weekend, and
And you
long
gave
weekends,
that
4
up.
days off. I had so much free time. That's
Yeah.
how I got into acting, because
Yeah.
I had all this free time. I was like, I got to do something with all my free time.
That's great.
Yeah. So what was I saying? I totally.
Oh,
No, so
no,
at
no.
what point does it become a business?
Okay. Okay, so I made 100 shirts, and I signed up for a street fest, concession street fest. So we go up there to sell the shirts, and we sold out. 100 shirts gone. Poof. I was like, holy,
Oh yeah.
Really?
this is a thing. And then people were like,
So you got a booth and you had 100 shirts.
yeah,
That was
And
it.
gone.
gone.
All right.
So I was like, okay.
All right.
So then I started making business cards. I started making flyers, whatever. But to me, it was still a part-time job.
Yeah. How
Right.
long ago was this?
This was 8 years ago.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Right.
So then I started handing out the business cards to everyone that asked about the shirt. I started started a social media account, started posting on social media, all that stuff. And then all those events are in the summer. So we start getting into November.
Yep.
And I remember I'm working full time.
Mm-hmm.
My phone starts ringing. My email starts blowing up. My social media starts blowing up. Everyone wants to buy someone they know the shirt for Christmas. Everybody. So I'm trying to work my day job and get these shirts made, work my day job and get these shirts made. And then CHCH called and they wanted to interview us.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yeah.
we did that interview on CHCH and all
Look at
hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
Hey, Bob Cowan is connected.
I can't
right?
keep doing both.
Yeah.
It was to the point where I was like, okay, I have to pick one or the other. So this was my make or break moment. So I talked to my family. They were like, you want to quit your day job to sell T-shirts? Are
At
you
that
on
point, after
drugs?
CH, that's when you're like, that's it.
Well, Christmas
Yeah.
was insane,
Yeah.
insane. But CHCH took it to a whole nother level. So I'm like, yeah, I want to quit my day job and do this full time. They go, you want to sell T-shirts? I'm like, well, it's not T-shirts, it's
My
a message.
T-shirts.
They were like, you want to quit your day job and sell T-shirts? And I'm like, you guys don't get it. So I go to my friends. They were like, dude, don't quit your day job. So everyone I'm talking to, like, don't quit your day job. Don't quit your day job. Don't quit your day job. I'm like, man. I was like, am I looking at this wrong, or am I getting the wrong vibe?
You're
Everyone's
thinking
telling me
different.
not to do it.
Thinking different. I like
But
it.
I'm like, no, you know what? I'm like, screw everybody. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So without telling anyone, I quit my job.
Wow.
And
But I mean, this is a situation that forced itself on you. It's not like you were forcing it, going, I'm gonna sell T-shirts. Like,
no,
wait a second.
no, yeah.
Sell some T-shirts first. No, you saw the demand,
Yes.
and your job is getting in the way.
Yes, exactly. And and I quit my day job, and the guys I work with, some of the guys were great, some of the guys were complete jerks, but a whole bunch of
You know
them
why
were
they're
like,
jerks? They're jealous of you
Oh,
because you were getting out
for
of the
sure.
daily grind. That's
Yeah.
why they were assholes.
yeah. They're counting down the weeks that they've got left till retirement, and you're like, fuck this. I'm
I'm
selling my
retiring
T-shirts.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the funny part is, I'm leaving, and a couple of the guys are like, you'll be back in 2 weeks begging for your job back. That was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Love it. Hey, top me up there, Steve-O.
Oh.
I'm not driving. Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
so I quit my job, and I opened our first store on Ottawa Street, and the rest has been history, man.
Yeah. You're on Main now, right?
Main and Pearl, yeah.
Okay. Had a
Actually, we get asked that all the time, why we move so much. People are like, how come you guys are always moving? Why? Every time I go to one of your old locations, you're not there anymore.
Ottawa Street seems like it would have been a good location.
Okay, so here's what happened with Ottawa Street. I actually didn't want to open a store on Ottawa Street. I went to the Ottawa Street Festival, and it was absolutely insane. And I thought to myself, oh my God, if it's busy like this all the time, I want to sell my stuff here, but I didn't want the overhead of having a store.
Right.
So I went into all the stores that sold clothing, and I'm like, hey, I'm Max Francis. I have a clothing brand called True Hamiltonian, Hamilton's. And at the time, no one had heard of it. Like, it's brand new. I'm like, I'd like you to sell my stuff. And they're like, yeah, buddy, leave me your number. Nobody called me. Nobody.
No.
Not a single call,
Yeah.
no emails, nothing. So I'm like, okay. So I went back to Auto Street, and I'm walking back, and I'm talking to all of them. I'm like, hey, I haven't heard from you. Like, are you interested? Oh, we'll call you. So as I'm walking, I pass this one little storefront, and it's got garbage piled up in the window, and it looks like no one's opened this store in probably 20 years. But apparently it was a lady that collected stuff, and she died. So the store's been sitting empty for months.
Okay.
So I get the number. I call the guy. He opens it up, takes me in, and apparently she had animals in there that died too, because this place
We know all
it
about
was
that fucking stuff.
horrible.
Right.
Like, imagine the worst episode of Hoarders you've ever seen. It was this store.
Yeah.
So I go to the guy, so how much for this place? And he quoted me some ridiculous number. I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. I go, here's what I'm going to do for you. I go, I'm going to come in. I'm going to do all the work, all the renos. I'm going to do all the cleaning, emptying, everything myself. And you're going to cut me a deal on the rent. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, deal. So I think the first store was like $650 a month, like ridiculously cheap.
Wow.
That's not bad.
That's really good.
That's fucking
I'd take
awesome.
that.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I can afford this now because I know how many shirts I have to sell to make that amount.
Yep.
So I got started. I think it took a month just emptying the place out. The walls had to be literally torn open. We had to put up all new drywall. Everything had to be, this place was disgusting. Like, it was horrible. And it was haunted. That was the other part of it. But
It was haunted.
all those people that died in there
Hey,
are
we got a
guy that
still
can help you
there.
out.
We got a guy that can help you out.
Yeah.
We had
one
us-
of our
One of our guests
Yeah.
was Steel City Paranormal. Well, no, he doesn't have that place anymore. He can't fucking help you now.
No.
He still has all the equipment.
Yeah.
He was our Halloween themed guest a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So I took every penny I had, and I hired a guy to do the walls and floors, and I did everything else: the painting, the decorating, the everything else I did myself. Well, my friends helped out, obviously.
It's interesting because I think when you talk to a lot of like younger people, they say, I don't know what I want to be yet. I don't know what I want to do yet. And you think about like, your purpose in life or your passion, and even this situation here where you just ended up creating a demand for t-shirts with a slogan that you created.
Yeah.
Is this still considered a passion of yours, or just something that became a passion because it's something that you created?
No, T-shirts are not and have never been a passion of mine. My passion is for this community. Like, I am passionate about Hamilton. And the funny thing about that is I've always been passionate about Hamilton. If you look at my Facebook or Instagram posts from 15, 20, however long I've been on there, most of them say, I just woke up in the greatest city on God's green earth. Like, for some reason, it's always been my outlook on the city.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes an outsider.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Look, I'm like I said before, I was embarrassed, and then I saw your shit flying around, and people are wearing. I'm like, look at all these people. I could be like them. So I went down to a store and I bought my own shirt, which found me a drinking buddy in Cuba when I went. Oh, you're from Hamilton? Oh, I fucking love people from Hamilton. He was from the East Coast.
dude, I have a buddy, him and his wife went on their honeymoon in the Middle East.
In the Middle East.
Middle East. They're walking into a hotel in the Middle East. Some guy's coming out of the hotel wearing a Hamilton's home shirt. They were like, "We're from Hamilton." He's like, "I'm from Hamilton." Like, it's literally, we actually built a map of all the places around the world people have traveled with our shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And it's covered. Like, the whole map is just,
I love that.
it's insane.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to get some swag and just start spreading it. Well, I mean, Steve had a great idea. So we renovate properties, we flip properties and stuff like that. And
Resto mod.
we don't like calling them flips because we do good work, and we take pride in what we do.
Yeah.
Because really, I mean, it's about the families that are moving in. The last one that we did was a townhome, and it was a really nice family with like 3 young girls, and he runs like a basketball camp and stuff like that. And this was their dream home, and they're from
Burlington, Oakville
they're
border
from Burlington.
somewhere. Yeah.
And so Steve put together this like Hamilton package, which included the Hamilton as home. And
The Thai Cat beer. I got some wine from local wineries, and it was just like a welcome to Hamilton package.
right, they were over the moon. But I mean, like that's what we're about too. Is like, this is our space. This is what we do. But we're not just about putting lipstick on a pig and collecting some money. Yeah. We want to invest in the city and make it better. And that's what I love about your energy. Is that I think just this slogan alone, when you see people wearing that, it's people that are actually experiencing a sense of pride.
Yeah. I think what happens is if you're, and it's nothing against anyone that's born and raised in Hamilton. I think if you're born and raised somewhere and you've been here your whole life, you become almost
a fixture.
No, you become almost tunnel vision where you don't see all the cool stuff around you because you've seen it your whole life. It's normal to you.
Yeah.
If you're new to the community, everything is brand new.
Yeah.
Beer Fest at the waterfront is brand new. The art gallery is brand new. Super crawling, like everything is brand new. And you're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I think so many people focus on wanting to get out of here to go do something or whatever, do something interesting. If you look internally, you're right. Hamilton has a lot going on for it. Like, I mean, even just like we're getting involved with a charity ourselves.
Oh, right? That Hamilton Association for Tiny Shelters?
Yes.
Yeah. And
we're going to invest some of our profits and purchase some tiny shelters.
Oh, nice.
And build them ourselves.
Wow. That's a tough issue right there.
Mm-hmm.
Homelessness is a massive issue in our community.
Yes.
And I think what happens is everyone tries to do quick fixes, and there's no quick fix.
No.
I think there are a lot of really smart people in this community, and I think if you brought all those smart people together and try to work out a multi-step plan on how to get to a resolution, I think that we would eventually get there, but
not with the fucking assholes they got downtown right now. I'll say it out loud. I don't care. I love, what's her name? Narinder Nan?
Narinder Nan, yeah.
I follow her on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah.
She's like, she bleeds Hamilton, and she's for her community. She's in Ward 3? Is it Ward 3
Ward
or
3.
Ward 1?
Yes.
Yeah, Ward 3. She's awesome. And then you got like that fucking dickhead, Terry Whitehead, who just cuts her off. Like, okay, I'm a bit of a nerd. I watch those meetings online.
Yeah.
Right? Because I just want to know what's going on.
You want to know what's going
right?
on, yeah.
Those old guys got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because this community can save itself. It just needs people like Narinder Nan. Narinder Nan.
Yeah.
Right? Because she's all about this hats program.
Yeah. Yeah. No, honestly, everyone that's working hard to make this a better community, I salute you and I thank you. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Max Francis, a man of passion and a man of fashion as well.
Passion
and I want to get
Actually,
into
little known fact, for one season, I was actually the CHCH men's fashion expert.
Get the fuck out of here. Nice.
We're gonna get
into
before Natalie Sexton swooped in. And
No. She was the women's fashion expert. And actually,
she could probably pull off the men's stuff, too.
one of my very best friends. So be careful what you say about her.
I'm not going to say anything bad about Natalie.
We're going to fight.
I love Natalie. She's fantastic. She's
I love you,
actually a
Nat.
big inspiration. She's a big inspiration.
I got $100 on Max.
What?
I said I got $100 on Max if you two throw down.
Are you kidding? Even with 2 good arms, I'm still running.
No, seriously, she is so smart and so driven, and I have learned so much from her in the last 5 years. It's unreal.
I would love to be able to sit down and really talk with her. She seems like very.
Maybe I can arrange that. Who knows? Woo!
I love it. We're gonna get into the fashion, or the passion, and little DJ Jazzy Jeff after the break.
Sorry, I feel like I'm yelling into the
After the break.
Is it too loud?
After the break.
And now back to the Renovating Life podcast.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't want to be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset.
And we're back live in studio with the one and only True Hamiltonian, Max Francis. Thanks again for sticking around. We really appreciate it. Stuck around for the first half. Fantastic. If not, this will be posted to YouTube, and you will be sure to go on and like and subscribe. We appreciate that about you. Before we left, I mean, we talked about we probably could have recorded the entire break there.
Yeah.
But
Well, maybe not.
one thing that I want to ask you about before we get into some of the stuff that you brought here with you is you've done some like logos or some work for other teams too,
Yes.
haven't you?
Yes.
Winnipeg
Yes, we
Jets
have.
rings a bell.
Who?
Winnipeg Jets? Did you do something for the Jets?
Never.
No, fuck.
No.
That's out of town. I know.
Yeah,
But
wait, hold on.
I thought
I
Yeah.
literally don't do anything
gonna
out
leave.
of town. It's a point of pride for me that this community is more than large enough to support what we do.
fair enough.
Oh, it's true. Like if Hamilton ever got an NHL team, fuck the Leafs,
Yeah.
right?
You drop them just like that?
I'd drop them in a heartbeat.
Mitch,
Look,
who?
dude, I'm fucking Serbian. We made the World
What?
Cup. So did Canada. Fuck the Serbs. I'm a Canadian.
We'll probably cut the fuck the Serbs part out. We don't need to be bombed.
I'm such a homer. We have a new lacrosse team in town.
Yes.
Who, the Toronto Rock?
Well,
Well, let's not say that name.
I was
Yeah.
so I was going to talk about that
They-
actually, and thank you for
they-
bringing that up. They're the wrong colors and the wrong town. City,
Yeah.
right? But I mean,
And they tried to change us to Rock City?
You know
Fuck's
what?
that all about?
They reached out to me and I declined. I just felt that that's not what we do.
the Hamilton Mountains.
No. The Hamilton Hammers.
There you
No.
That's
They
terrible.
can stick with the rock.
terrible.
You just got to get rid of that first part.
Right.
I won't even say it out loud.
Well, I'm confused by this. I was watching it the other day. I'm like, this is Toronto, but that's like Cops Coliseum.
Yeah, it's because the owner is probably a dickhead. I
No.
hope he's listening.
Actually, I heard a really smart reasoning for why they do it. If they change their name, it changes the market. So by keeping that name, they have access to that market. And I get it. I totally do. But you also have to get that I'm the Hamilton guy.
Yeah.
I can't support anybody
Get on
else.
the other
It's
fucking
not
side
what
of
I
the
do,
skyway.
and I'm not going to do it.
No, don't do it.
Done.
That whole Rock City thing fucking pissed me off. When I seen that sign, man, if I had my old truck, I would have hit the fucking pillar and the sign would have come down.
So the Hamilton Bulldogs, you must have been involved with
we've
them.
done so much stuff with them. They are on a record-breaking, I think it's 45 or 46 game winning streak. It is literally one of the best teams around, and
Yeah.
I'd like to say it's a well-kept secret, but a lot of people do go to the games. But I feel like more people need to go to the games.
I agree.
I want to see, instead of 4,000 or 5,000 people at a game, I want to see 10,000 people at a game.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know if
really
you're
good
going to get
hockey.
that for an OHL game, though. How
It's-
big's a Meridian Center in St. Catharines? 6,000 people?
I think it's a wrong size venue.
Yeah.
Like when I
I think Mac and the Bulldogs need to come to an agreement to build a actual venue for their teams
yeah.
to use together.
I know, like going to see the Guelph Storm. I thought they had the perfect size, and actually
Yeah.
went there to see Connor McDavid play, and it was unbelievable. Just the energy, and you know what I mean. It was,
But
it
it's a
was
nice
good-sized
barn.
center.
Like it's
Yeah.
Cops Coliseum, I think, is too big, so you
Yeah.
actually feel like 4,000 people is a lot of people.
Yeah.
But because Cops Coliseum is
feels
so
empty.
big, it feels empty.
yeah.
But if you had a 5,000 seat barn,
Yes.
you fill that fucking barn,
Oh yeah.
and it's
And it's
loud.
rocking.
It's a
The
different
energy's
experience.
huge.
Yeah.
And you
I
know what's
agree.
really cool, and this is what's missing and people don't realize it? If you have a smaller venue and you start posting that it's sold out,
Yeah.
more people want to go.
Oh,
True.
yeah.
Like it builds buzz.
Oh yeah.
But there's no way you're going to sell out Cops Coliseum. It's
No.
like
No.
insane.
No. I was at Disney on Ice. That didn't even sell out. And that shit was crazy.
I heard Disney on Ice is now like Cirque du Soleil on ice.
Dude,
It's
I was
fucking
scared.
crazy.
I was like third row from the front. And I was like, you know, it was crazy. Like people were like flying out like over top of me when I wasn't taking pictures of some of the. Never mind. But Goofy. I'm a huge fan of Goofy and whoever was standing next to him. But I mean, like, it was absolutely. It was not the whatever Disney on Ice
that
I
me and
remember.
you used to see.
Yeah, with you got the flashlight, the Mickey ears, just
And that was it.
turning it around. Oh yeah, for sure. And you get to see Mickey out. No, like you got people doing some like aerial stuff for him. Like you could die. What are you doing up there? Oh, it's funny. Oh.
I actually had a story for you guys from my past work life.
Yes.
So I told you guys that I left my past employment to start my own company.
Right.
One of the stories that I didn't tell you was when I first started working there, I'm a very competitive person. So for me to stay motivated, I have to set goals and I have to beat those goals.
Yeah.
So every day I would come in and it would take me a certain amount of time to do the amount of work I needed to do. So I would time myself how long it would take. And every day I would try to beat that time.
Okay.
So every day it got shorter and shorter and shorter because I was just competitively trying to beat that time every day.
Yep.
So one day I come into work and I'm a morning person. I'm like, I wake up in the morning and I'm happy. Like I don't drink coffee. I'm just naturally like buzzed in the morning.
Yep.
And I'd come into work and I'd be like, good morning. And the guys I work with would be like, what's so freaking good about it? I'm like, whoa, easy there, champ. So they started noticing I was getting all this work done in such a short period of time. So they went to my supervisor and complained. So my supervisor one day is like,
they complained that you were accomplishing too much.
Yes, wow. I was making them look bad. So my supervisor pulls me aside. He's like, let's go for a walk. So we go for a walk. And I'm walking down the aisle with this guy, and he just looks over me. He's like, cut it out. I'm like, what? He's like, cut it out. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, you're making the other guys look bad, and they're bitching to me, like, cut it out. I'm like, so you're complaining that I'm working too hard. He goes, you know exactly what I'm saying. Cut it out. And then he just walked away. So I'm like, wow. I was like, I was demoralized. I was heartbroken. And then I was like, you know what?
It takes the wind out of the sails there.
I was like, okay, cool. So here's what I started doing. I would come into work, still my happy-go-lucky self, and I would spend 2 hours busting my hump, like going as hard and fast as I can. Then I would take an hour off. Then I would take 2 more hours where I busted my hump. Then I would take an hour off to give the other guys time to catch up, right?
Wow.
So I had these breaks I had planned throughout the day. So then my supervisor calls me for a walk again. So we're walking again. He's like, yeah, the guys are complaining that you're fucking the dog.
I quit.
I'm done. I'm done.
Hold on. It's 2000. It's what is it? 2022. It's not fucking the dog anymore.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
called canine fornication.
Oh, sorry. I was canine fornicating.
And we have the award at work. We give that award out once a month.
Oh man, it blew my mind. My frustration level was so high at that point. I was like, I'm done. I can't even deal with this anymore.
Sorry, I want to switch gears a little bit. I noticed on Steve's shirt.
Yeah.
That's an old school shirt there, but
Yes.
I noticed on this one here you've got True Hamiltonian on the side.
Yeah. Here's something a lot of people don't realize about the logo. My name is actually on every single shirt.
Get the fuck out of here.
Really?
Well, not yours. Yours was before we started doing
Okay, good.
That's an OG.
Yeah. So here's how that happened. So when I originally made the shirts, they all were supposed to have logos, but I was making the shirts myself. And there's only a limited amount of time in each day. So there was such a demand for the shirts that I could produce twice as many shirts if I didn't put a logo on it. So I was just worried about putting the Hamilton Is Home on there.
Right.
There we go.
But later on, once it became a really popular brand, we started having a lot of people trying to do knockoff copies. We had stores in Dundas selling knockoffs, Stony Creek
Really?
selling knockoffs,
So
Westdale
this
selling.
isn't a trademark. Like you can't trademark.
No,
that
it is
phrase?
trademarked.
It is, but-
They didn't care.
Oh,
So
It's like when you go to fucking New York and you buy a Romex instead of a Rolex.
yeah.
Right?
A genuine Sorny.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
also got to realize the stores that I went into that were selling knockoff True Hamiltonian gear, they had knockoff Ticats gear. They had knockoff Bulldogs. They had knockoff everything.
How do they get away with that?
'Cause
how do you
no
own a
one's-
store and have
one's
knockoff?
checking. No one's checking.
Ridiculous.
It's like every time you get rid of one, two more pop up. So
They just see Hamilton is home and like, oh, I can do that too.
yeah.
Well,
Dude, I
Toronto, didn't Toronto just they fucking ripped you off too?
They actually did
They
it
switched it,
brilliantly.
though.
They flipped the entire thing
Yeah.
upside down.
Almost
Home
Toronto?
is Toronto.
So now it counts as
Fucking
an original
assholes.
design,
Now I hate Toronto
even
more.
though they
Yeah.
kept the exact same font.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's identical.
Yeah.
Brought some stuff in with you, and I can't help but notice,
Yeah.
especially with what's happened with Will Smith lately. DJ Jazzy, the magnificent,
The magnificent
DJ Jazzy.
Jazzy
Now
Jeff.
I actually listened to the Will Smith's audiobook
Yeah.
a couple of months ago, and I really didn't know much about DJ Jazzy Jeff other than from the albums and
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air being tossed out of the front door.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised
I
on
didn't
the
realize
playground is where I spent most of my days.
What an actual genius he is,
Yeah.
and the dedication that he had to the craft.
Yes.
So when I see DJ Jazzy Jeff now, I look at him very differently. So I'm curious, what is this?
So a few years ago, here's my thing. Whenever I do something, I don't want to repeat it. Every year, I want to get bigger and better. So we had done a spring launch every year, and every year we had celebrities walking our runway, or we had celebrities performing, whatever. So this was year number 4 or 5, and I thought to myself, I'm like, how am I going to top all those previous years?
Mhm.
So I was trying to think of some kind of celebrity musician I could bring on, and I Googled celebrities and what it costs to hire them.
Oh yeah.
And oh my God, those numbers were insane, like absolutely insane. So I was working with a friend of mine who's a local artist, and I was telling her the story and whatever. And she goes to me, she goes, I used to work for a agent in Toronto. I was like, what? She goes, I worked for an agency that booked musicians. I was like, no way. No, you didn't. She's like, yeah, I did. That's what I did before I became an artist, started doing my art full time. So I was like, well, what kind of artists do you have access to? She goes, who do you want? I was like, well, throw me out some names. So she threw out some names, and DJ Jazzy Jeff was one of the names she
No
threw
way.
out.
Yeah.
So I was like, can you help me with this? She's like, I'll reach out. So when you reach out to these agents, if you're nobody, they're not going to reply. But she reached out. The guy got back to me. I told him who I wanted to get in contact with. We got in contact. We started talking. I told him what I wanted to do. And he's like, you know what? I'm supposed to be doing, he was shooting a documentary at the time. He's like, I'm going to be traveling cross country. And I think he had to stop in Buffalo, New York or somewhere. And then he was flying to Africa or something for some big festival. He goes, we could pop in. I was like,
No way.
You could pop in? He's like, we could pop in. I was like, okay. Obviously, I still had to pay him, but still.
Sure.
But I made a huge mistake on this. So what happened was, we had the fashion show, and I used some other DJs for the fashion show.
Yep.
And then I was going to have DJ Jazzy Jeff after, it's like the after show. And then what happened was, we had a sold-out crowd at the fashion show, but it was on a Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
And the fashion show went long, so all these people went home.
And they
So
missed.
So by the time DJ
No.
Jazzy Jeff came on, it was like half the crowd, and I felt bad that I brought DJ Jazzy Jeff to Hamilton, and it was only half the crowd of the opening DJ.
Did
So-
they not know that he was coming? Like,
I think it was a Thursday. Everyone had to work on Friday.
right? They didn't care.
And
Yeah,
at this point,
words.
people had been drinking since like 5 o'clock. Like,
It's Hamilton.
No,
That
I call in
happens.
sick for
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
so
Like, fuck you, George.
But
I'm not
it was an epic night. It was unreal. If I had the whole thing to do again, I would have started DJ Jazzy Jeff
Yeah.
at 5 o'clock. Like, you're doing the whole thing, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Oh,
paying
man.
him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But he was only. Here's the thing with celebrities like that. You have them for 2 hours.
Oh, really?
So you pick the 2 hour slot you want them to play in. So I thought, okay,
No,
we'll
use him for the
we'll
after
get him
party.
from like 9 to 11 or 10 to midnight.
And
like,
he just goes. I'm sure it could have been an empty room, and he would just did what he does. Because he's a pro.
He was unreal. He said hi to everyone. He took pictures with everyone. It was really cool.
That's cool. I just kind of want to keep leafing through all this shit. You got a stack of stuff here.
Okay. So the next picture
Next.
up.
Worst interview ever. Okay, yeah.
Kevin Hart.
Oh, my
Kevin
wife.
Hart with one of our hats that was designed for us by Jesus. I just drew a blank there.
It's the orange juice.
Yeah,
It's the orange juice. Not what's with the orange juice, but it's the OJ.
the laundry design
spiked
works.
the ice cubes.
Amazing people over there. They designed the hats for us. They're amazing. If you ever need any kind of design, fashion, any kind of work like that done, please hit them up. They're
Who's
so
this?
cool.
Sorry?
The Laundry Design Works.
The laundry design works.
Yeah. So
That's
anyway,
actually a cool name. I like that.
Kevin Hart was in town to do a show, and I work with Core Entertainment. So part of the partnership we have with them is whenever there's a show, they give us free tickets to the show to like raffle off on our social media.
Yeah.
And they always give me 2 free tickets to the show. So they were like, listen, we want to put together a gift basket for Kevin Hart. Would you donate some stuff? I'm like, absolutely. I would.
Absolutely.
No.
So
That's a vehement no. I'm putting my foot down.
yeah,
Are
so
you kidding? Chris Hart?
So
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, sorry.
Yeah.
So Kevin Hart ended up with our hat. Hopefully he takes a ton of pictures at famous
Here.
stuff, doing famous stuff with the hat on.
Well, I'm going to play the Kevin Hart audio right from my phone. This is why I love
doesn't-
Kevin Hart.
Why don't you just get
Because I didn't
Greg
set up
looked
an Instagram window on fucking OBS. Okay, that's my next step. I got a list of shit. This is hard.
nerd talk? I don't
Yeah,
know. You
nerd
just said
talk. Here-
you can't just
here
go
we
to
go.
YouTube and post it.
Emotion or feeling you may have, or how much hurt you may have, life has to go on. Life doesn't stop for anybody. So if you don't process that and understand that, you're stuck in whatever time period you got hurt forever.
I could
so
not agree
grudges
more.
and anger and negativity, I don't have time for it because I'm living to so much positive things. I can't stand in the past and bathe in what was wrong. No matter how much emotion.
Now we were talking about Rogan earlier, and like I'm not like a huge Rogan fan. I have to listen to every interview. When he's on, I'll listen. You know what I mean? Like that interview that he did there. Like he's so
Powerful.
he's one of the hardest working human beings on planet Earth.
Him and The Rock.
And The Rock.
Oh,
The
my
Rock
God.
is
And they're hand in
Oh,
hand.
see, now you
He's-
mentioned The Rock, and like my wife's ovaries upstairs are fucking pumping. She
Yeah,
loves
we're
The
gonna
Rock.
have a friggin' water problem here down here in a second. Starts raining, you'll know where she is.
Honestly, my whole thing with my life is basically the same as both of those guys. I'm a grinder. I don't believe that I'm talented. I don't believe I'm better looking. I don't think I'm faster, stronger.
Oh,
or
come
more
on, you're
than
talented.
anyone.
And the best looking guy in this room.
Thank
Yeah.
you. No, what I think is I'm gonna wake up before you. I'm gonna work harder than you, and I'm gonna go to bed after you. Like you're not gonna outwork me. Like it's.
I'm
not
up at
gonna happen.
4:30. When you up?
Huh? You're up at 4:30.
Yep.
Once I hear that, I'm gonna make sure I'm up at 4.
No,
Like
no,
it's
no,
not
no.
Texting you.
I'm texting
You
you.
are
at
not gonna
Not until
outwork
this
me.
happened. Not
Yeah,
until I was in the sling.
It's
I
a
don't
mental
usually fall
thing with
asleep
me.
till 4:30
You gotta
now.
remember, I don't drink coffee. I wake up like this.
Me neither. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm not a huge.
know
co-
what?
These guys know I'm
Hold
not
on
a
a
huge
second.
coffee guy.
Fuck you both. I need a fucking cup of coffee just to get the motor running.
Right.
It's like I'm running on 3 cylinders. If I don't have a coffee.
And you smoke too, so you take it rectally.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that always happens to me is because I'm so competitive and because I'm always trying to outdo myself, I always forget all the stuff that I have done. So I'll meet people and they'll bring up things that we've done in the past, and I've forgotten about it because it's like, do it, forget it, what's next?
Yeah.
So I remember I was talking to a buddy. He's like, dude, when you guys did that flash mob in front of City Hall, it blew me away. He goes, to this day, I still think about that. I'm like, flash mob in front of City Hall. I'm like, oh, yeah. We got 6 bands from 6 different schools to do a flash mob in front of City Hall.
No way.
And like a huge crowd showed up, and we posted it all over our social media.
Poor
And,
Fred
and they
probably
were
had a
all
heart
wearing
attack.
Hamilton's home shirts. It was insane.
Poor Eisenberger probably was like, "Oh my God, they're coming for me finally."
They're coming. The lynch mob.
No.
Where does this competitive nature come from? Did you play sports growing up? Did you-
I played sports my
football.
whole life, but
you're
I think
you're American. You probably played football.
the competitive nature comes from my family. I grew up with a lot of a big family, lots of brothers, sisters. But
How many?
The thing was, my mom, she would do crazy stuff to inspire us. Like we would have these big dinners where we all love tuna sandwiches, so she would make a stack of tuna sandwiches and cut them into little triangles, take the crust off and everything. And then she would put half of the pile in the middle, and she would let us go at it. And the first one to finish can have the rest. So we were like freaking ravenous animals trying
Game
to go
on.
through the tunas. So we'd be get the first crack at the second pile. So this
Coming
is
in here, True Hamiltonian, doing work for the Ticats. Never would I have guessed. American, football gave me tuna sandwiches.
Tuna
No,
sandwiches.
my mom.
This is the
I
first.
didn't-
This is an exclusive here. Mom instilled my competitive nature via tuna sandwiches.
Yeah.
This is the first
it's
here. We can
other
write a
things.
book.
Okay, so
Like,
we
hold
were-
on.
we-
Moms are important in like American culture.
Oh, dude, unreal.
Especially like a boy and a
My
a
mom
mama's
my
boy,
mom
right?
was my hero growing up. She was legit my superhero. We were moving once, and me and my brother, we were trying to move this dresser, and we couldn't pick it up. We were like My mom came in the room. She's like, "What's taking so long?" We're like, "Oh, it's too heavy." Boom! Picked it up by herself, walked out the door.
Oh,
I looked at my brother. I'm like, "Don't mess with her."
yeah, that was like the Samuel L. Jackson "bitch please" moment, right? It's like-
That's a mom and dad mixed into one person right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Loving, nurturing, and she'll kill you at the
Oh.
same time.
Hey,
Oh.
and let me tell you, I bet the next time you had to move something, you didn't bitch, you didn't
Nope.
complain, you
Nope.
moved it
Nope.
because you didn't want mama to fucking embarrass you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I found that with weightlifting too. A lot of times you think you can't lift a weight until you see someone else do it. And then all of a sudden, like, you're able to lift that weight.
The
just 'cause
4
you
minute
saw
mile
someone
is-
else do it.
Yeah, the 4 minute mile. I can't remember the name of the person that broke the 4 minute mile. I don't know if you know that story,
Yeah.
but it was thought to be impossible to break the 4 minute mile, to run a 4 minute mile. And finally, it was broken, and then
Everyone did
2
it.
weeks later, somebody else did it, and then somebody else did it, and somebody else did
It
it.
was a mental block.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right.
Are you at a point now, like, so you've had this level of success now, and you're the kind of guy that's, okay, now I've got to set the bar a little bit higher.
Yes.
When you're feeling like, if you ever have a down, now you wake up feeling like sunshine. You're the rare
sunshine
person.
squirting out my bum.
You're the rare person that wakes up feeling like sunshine. But what do you do if and when you ever have that down day or feeling to snap yourself out of that? Because as an entrepreneur, you don't have the luxury of going, oh, I'm just going to mail it in today and collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
What do you do to snap yourself out of it to get yourself back to being Max Francis?
so-
Not mid Francis, but Max Francis.
Yeah. So I used to run a lot. Running was my elixir for down days. But a couple of years ago, I had knee surgery, and now whenever I run, my knee swells up to the size of a watermelon, so I can't run anymore. So it's a little tricky for me now. So I watch kids' movies. That's what gets me out of it.
Come on.
A good Disney movie will make your day.
No, man.
A
When's the
whole new world.
No, hold on.
Tuna
When's the last time you
sandwiches and
watched
The
the
Little
actual Disney
Mermaid.
movie?
No,
There's-
Changed my life.
No.
No, there's
we
a
don't
difference.
talk about Bruno, man. It's all about Bruno.
Okay, I don't know what this Bruno
Facts.
is all about. I know
Facts.
one guy.
Yeah. Like what
one guy
what was the one with the little
Or it's that name of the movie, Incantino?
No, I like the other one, the little Mexican kid with the fucking guitar.
Oh, I think
I gotta
that's-
get on
Coco.
board with this shit.
Coco.
I have no
That
idea.
movie made a grown man cry, and that
Dude,
grown man
they're
was
so
me.
inspiring.
Steve Kovac.
It's so
That-
cool.
That's a low bar.
That's a low bar.
I call him the man amongst men.
Yeah.
He's also the biggest softy too.
Yeah.
That's
He's
okay.
one of the smartest guys you'll ever meet. He can do anything, but I can break him in 2 seconds. Want me to make Steve cry? Ask
Put
me
on
a question,
Coco.
Steve. I'm looking through. I'm
so the
trying
reason
to avoid just going through a stack of.
No,
Oh, what's
the
next?
reason I brought these is over
Is
the
a school
last...
picture? What the hell is that?
No, that's another
All
magazine.
right, we'll get to that.
So over the last few years, we've been featured on the cover of a lot of local magazines. So I brought a bunch to just kind of like
Yeah.
show different magazines that we've been on the cover of. This View cover was really cool.
The
This-
View.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
This
So
is where I get all like the local, like who's playing where
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of thing.
Yeah. So we
And when I used to hang out at like pool halls, they would have like escort services in here, and I would call them at like 3 o'clock in the morning and wake them up.
Yeah.
It'd be-
Such an asshole.
we would do it like all the time, just spending quarters and just like, hey, how you doing? Like, huh? What? Yeah, okay. We would wait.
Spending quarters. Like you just aged us.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like end pocket. I remember back in the day, and it would be funny because they would shut the place down at like 2 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
But they would let us stay till like 5. You got a couple, 13, 14, 15 beers in you, and then it's like, okay, I need some more fun than just knocking some pools into the thing. So we would call these people at like 3 o'clock in the morning and just like wake them up.
Yeah.
Inspiration is what this
Yeah.
podcast is all about.
Yeah. I honestly just think it's pretty cool that a guy that made a couple of T-shirts ended up on the cover of all these magazines.
Right?
No, it is cool. Like
Oh, actually, one of the coolest things ever, I worked with a guy named Joe King, and he still works at the company I used to work at.
Joking.
Joseph King. Joe
Okay.
King. Yeah. So what he would do is every time I got featured on the cover of a magazine, he would take it to work and leave it in the break room.
oh yeah. No, that's awesome. Okay, so at my work, we do the same shit. So these two guys,
Yeah.
I'm a maintenance guy at a local steel company.
Yeah.
So really, we're like the fire department. We
Yeah.
just put fires out at work.
Yeah.
So these two guys, they're like, oh, nothing's going on today. We're gonna go to Lowe's. So doesn't like one of the fucking office people see them in the work van at Lowe's
Oh.
buying like a fucking massive front door because one of them were renovating their homes.
Yeah.
So they got in trouble. Whatever. They both got a day off. Every fucking shift that they were in on days, I would pin up a Lowe's fucking like the Lowe's flyer at the punch clock. So they had to look at it every time they fucking punched in.
Oh.
That's awesome. So, like, what's next? I mean, you've come from here, you've gone here, and you're always pushing the envelope. What's next?
So here's the thing. During COVID, True Hamiltonian definitely took a massive hit.
Right.
We were basically shut down for months at a time. We had very loyal customers that ordered stuff online, and thank you for that. And we had a few companies
Love
that
them.
would order for their employees, and we thank you for that. That definitely helped keep the lights on.
And I think
But-
for the one project,
Yeah, you
I
did.
actually had to fucking get it shipped
Yeah.
because I couldn't come pick it up.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a really, honestly, I thought we were done. I honestly sat at home and I was like, you know what? It was a good ride. I'm gonna just like, I'm gonna see what happens, and if I have to move home with my mom, I'm not too proud to do
Oh,
that.
come on. You
But
watched
if you
a
can
Disney
endure
movie.
this, though, like, if you can endure this and come out bigger on the other side,
Yeah.
man, no
Oh,
stopping
come on.
you.
But-
you know what he
but-
did? He just told us what he did. He fucking watched a Disney movie and
Yeah.
said, fuck this shit, and I'm going to
Dude.
fucking win.
No,
Tuna sandwiches,
And Disney movies.
no crust.
no,
No crust.
no. But something
Right?
something really weird and unexpected happened during COVID.
Jesus.
No.
Oh.
Well, obviously Jesus. Like I did a lot of praying. No. So I've been acting for almost 15 years now,
Right.
and the way acting works is that all of the casting houses are in Toronto, so you have to literally go to Toronto to do an audition. But because of COVID, they weren't doing in-person auditions. You could do your audition at home.
Right.
And then you would either tape it and send it to them, or you do it over a Zoom call.
You become more efficient.
Yes. So I cleaned off an entire wall, just an empty white wall in my place. I set up some lighting, and I would get music going and get inspired. And I would just do the most zany, ridiculous, like, I don't give a damn commercials I could think of.
He's got the eye of a tiger.
Oh, yeah.
He's eating his sandwiches.
Like, they would ask me to do stuff, and I would do the exact opposite and send it in. And I started landing these roles. I just started landing commercials, started landing TV shows, started landing movies. I'm like, and then it got to the point, here's how ridiculous it got. I would start telling my agent that I didn't want to do stuff, and then they would give me the part.
Perfect. I love it.
Okay, so you mentioned commercials there. Okay?
Yeah.
The one commercial of yours that I love,
Yes.
and I really hope that you believe in it, is your mental health commercial.
Yes. Oh, absolutely, I do.
Like we need more funding for that. And because I have my middle daughter, the one you met, she's got like anxiety and a bunch of other issues. I actually want Greg to roll that commercial because I want people to see it.
Yeah, can you look that up?
You know what's hilarious is you didn't have to do that, but okay, go for it.
I lost someone on my crew, but not on the job. The risk has always been there, even before we had a name for it. If you were struggling, you just had to suck it up and move on. But not today.
That commercial gives me goosebumps.
It gives, the first time I saw it, I was
that
watching a
you?
Leafs game.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck, that's fucking Max.
Do you want to hear? I have 3 funny stories. Well, we're going to get serious about it because it is a very serious subject. But I have 3 funny stories about that commercial. One, it started airing right after the Ticats decided not to renew my contract. And it aired during every single Ticat game. I got more playtime during Ticat games than I did when I actually worked for them.
Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
Well, that's where I first saw it. Maybe it was a Ticat game. I was watching
dude,
TSN.
it aired nonstop for like almost a year. Number 2, they made me shave my beard into a mustache.
No.
It's all good.
Here's the thing about mustaches. Some people can pull it off. Some people cannot. I am not a mustache.
Oh, come on. Pull that back up, Greg.
Put that back up.
I
Put that back
legit
up.
look like
Close-up
I have
mustache.
a white
I
van
look
outside
like
waiting to like lure you in.
I
with,
look like I
candy.
belong in the sex offender registry.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, here's the thing. When I'm not smiling,
Dude,
it's
that
fine.
looks great.
No,
Are you kidding?
But I'm not smiling.
I know,
but
'cause you
I'm
look
a
serious.
smiler. I smile all the time.
That's what I was
When
gonna
you're
say.
smiling with a mustache, you look
No.
like a full-on perv.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like you because you're not smiling. You're all,
I'm
all
always
smiles.
smiling.
No.
That's me acting. So,
I know that's, yeah.
But and the third funny thing about that commercial, I have friends I've had for years, people I've known for years. I run into them and first thing they say to me is, I didn't know you were a firefighter.
Oh, come on. Man, with the mustache?
People
and
really
your
still
build,
fall for that.
You got the role.
It's clearly a commercial. Really?
Oh man, it was unreal. But
Say somebody else. It's a black simile. Come on.
getting serious, it was a very important message. It was a very
course.
important commercial.
Yep.
I was very honored to be a part of it, and they were amazing to me on set, and the finished product was unreal, and the feedback, oh my God. I have gotten everyone from politicians to actors to musicians to
Really?
just regular people on the street. I was on Locke Street. I was going to visit a buddy of mine, Brandon, at the West Town. Some guy was driving by, stopped his car, parked,
Come on.
and goes, "Are you the firefighter from that Cam H commercial?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Good work, thank you." Like, it was unreal the amount of people that saw this commercial.
You have politicians reaching out to you over a
No,
commercial?
they're just like saying that it was really important work.
Right.
And thank you for doing it.
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
gotcha.
that. I didn't realize the impact it would have.
It's super important work, especially
Yeah.
especially in Hamilton with like the homelessness and like that affects your the way you're thinking, and
Yep.
and a lot of those people, like, they think that they can't dig them out of this hole.
Yeah.
So we're involved with that HATS program. But I think a program like that needs to go a little deeper. Give them place to shelter,
Yeah.
but get them on the right path.
Yeah.
I feel
Help them help them find
yeah. So I spent
employment and
I
that
spent
kind of
10 years working for the acquired brain injury program at Hamilton Health Sciences, and especially with the men, take away their job, you take away your
Their
identity.
sense of identity.
Yeah.
And what I would try to do is just get these guys out doing something, men or women, but like doing something practical, not just whatever exercises they were assigned at the hospital. I would try to get them out of that environment, the hospital environment, and into a real environment. And it's something I've actually toyed with even on our own projects, having, high functioning ABI clients doing something practical. And because that is the real rehab, and that is the real mental health, reset for a lot of people. And I mean, COVID, again, a lot of people lost their jobs, and a lot of people became depressed or whatever. And obviously there's financial pressures and all this kind of stuff too, but I mean, it's the feeling, me personally, like, I knew I was ready to leave my job when I got fired last January in 2021. And even knowing that I had a plan, that feeling of like, you're not valuable, man, that, like, if I sat and thought about it too long, it would affect me. And actually, it's funny because I had a lot of customers calling me and stuff like that, like, hey, what happened and stuff. I stopped taking the calls. I literally closed my laptop. I opened up my next one, and one sitting next to me, I was at my parents' house, and I knew it was happening. And I looked over them because they're helping me watch my kids.
Yeah.
So, like, this is during COVID. I have this crazy job, and I've got side things going on, and I'm trying to watch my kids during COVID, and my parents are helping me. And I looked over at them and said, you want to see what it looks like when your son gets fired? And boom, it happened. Boom, I closed the laptop, opened the other one, and got to work immediately because I knew the value of work and being active, like, even just like moving, like, if you're sitting on your ass doing nothing,
You got to have purpose.
Oh, it's so true. Like, even with our projects, Dan gives me shit sometimes because I get a little bit too involved with like the construction part, but I need that for like a mental reset. I just need to use my hands because you're juggling so many fucking things at once, and I just need that day where I can just work and not think about anything.
Right. And I know that too.
Yeah.
Right. And especially somebody who's transitioning out of their job, shall I say this live?
I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I get
They
paid
know that.
more if they fucking fire me.
Right. So the bottom line is, it's not that I don't want you work. I mean, we're business partners, right? I can't tell him what to do. He can't tell me what to do, but we have roles.
Yeah.
Right. And he's in charge of like the construction stuff and all that kind of stuff. And if you're actively involved, you're working in the business, not on it.
Yeah.
But I also recognize the value of working in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because both him and I have done it. Our first project we worked on together were like 1 o'clock in the morning, jacking up a house, literally using a fucking like car jack.
Yeah, we used the car jack to jack the center of the house.
Because the house was sinking. We're on McDonald Street, like near Aberdeen, and we're just in this basement at 1 o'clock in the morning jacking this house. I was like, is somebody in the house? I'm like, no, that's the fucking roof moving, man. Like,
Wow.
you know what I mean? But like, I understand the value of like tactile, like hands-on. I'm involved, and it's interesting because you're an entrepreneur. You had a job. You moved to a new country.
Yeah.
You have a job.
Yeah.
Stable job. Really
Yes.
good job.
Great job.
But then you found a purpose,
Yes.
which turned you into an entrepreneur, True Hamiltonian. actor, fashion, it's almost like it unleashes the beast, right? Of these things that you have, is it the passion of being an entrepreneur, or do you have one thing that you're striving for?
Well, it's a couple of things with me. One, I don't want to have any regrets. So if there are things that I'm interested in or things that I'm passionate about, I'm going to follow through on those things, because there's nothing worse than being old and having regrets, and I don't want to have those regrets.
No,
So I'm
right.
going to pursue the things that I feel passionate about. When I started acting, it was a part-time fun thing for me, and during COVID, I did my first movie, short film, where I was the lead person. I was the lead in a movie.
Is that Loose Ends?
Not enough. Tough
Not
enough
enough.
or not
Okay,
enough.
okay, yeah.
I should get that right.
I should get that right.
My first
should
lead. It was
know
the
it.
most important role in my life. I can't remember it.
No, but if you had asked 10-year-old me if that would have ever happened in my
Right.
lifetime, there's no way
Right.
in hell I would have said yes.
For sure.
It wasn't even something I could imagine.
No, yeah.
So yeah, I just strongly believe that if you want something bad enough and you're willing to put the work in, you never know what's going to happen, right?
Like I totally understand the passion part. So there's, we're involved in real estate, and that's like, it's called the Renovating Life podcast for a reason, right? So we renovate, but we're also like trying to renovate our lives and whatever. But my passion is I don't want to be that fucking asshole that's flipping a house and screwing somebody when they buy it.
Yeah.
I want
Which happens a lot. I talk clients, not that I talk them out of them, but I make them acutely aware of what they're buying, because I can see lipstick on a pig.
yeah.
Like,
Like
it happens a lot.
Oh, I
even
believe it.
even downtown at McDonald's, we had the plumbing company came in and they did a bunch of shit. And the guy, when he replaced part of the main stack in the house, so your main stack does your fucking drainage, but it also does your air venting for the drainage to go down. He looked down the pipe. He's like, man, he goes, for 20 feet, I can't see nothing because it's a cast iron pipe and it's rusted from the inside.
Where was this?
The McDonald's.
Okay.
So he was telling me about it. I said, fucking replace it. Because I can't personally give over possession of something that I renovated, knowing that even if it was 20 years down the road that it finally failed and plugged, I just can't do it. I can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an electrician by trade.
Yeah.
All the electrical work has got to be done right, because I can't sleep at night if I know that we're hiding something and the fucking house can burn
Isn't
down.
that weird to you that there are people that have absolutely no conscience? They can do stuff and it doesn't bother them. They won't lose an ounce of
We know
sleep
some
over it.
personally.
Yeah, we know some personally,
Yeah.
and it blows my mind. It blows my mind that they could sleep at night knowing that they cut a corner and something fucking bad can happen.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it, because I'm going to start
I'm
bawling
sure
my
you
eyes
feel the
out.
same way that I do, but I love going past a home that we've renovated or that I've done like in the past, and knowing there's a family living there when I see kids, and I'm like, that's a good home.
Well, even our
Feel good
first
about
one
it.
together, when they had, it was like COVID was just starting. We took the first offer because everyone was saying real estate's going to plummet, blah, 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 blah. So we accepted an offer with a condition of an inspection.
Right.
So the inspector
Right, I
came back
forgot
to
about
us
that. Yeah.
and said, hey, I can't find nothing wrong with this place. Now, you guys needed a little bit
done
more insulation in the
hundreds.
attic, but that's it.
I've done hundreds of inspections, and I've never heard of an inspector coming back and going like, places like incredible. Like, you know what I mean? I've never had a glaring review. There's always something usually, and he's like this is unbelievable. It was really good.
But you want, like I want, Dan wants, we want to create a name for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like these guys,
We want a reputation.
These guys-
Battlefield. That's why we picked Battlefield. Like Stony
Stony
Creek,
Creek,
Battlefield
yeah,
Real Estate Investments. When people purchase a home, that's owned by Battlefield Real Estate Investments, you'll know that you're buying something
Solid.
quality,
Yeah.
right?
Because at the end of the day, the plumbing thing at downtown at McDonald, you want to know what that cost me extra to fix?
Oh, tell me.
I don't wanna-
$1,500.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it was like 20 feet of pipe they had to fucking
Yeah.
replace.
Yeah.
But we know people that wouldn't have
No, they
spent that
definitely would have.
Oh, yeah.
They're thinking another $1,500 in my pocket.
Yeah.
They would have put another layer of drywall over the plaster to cover everything, and that's it. Electrical, plumbing is not my problem because I didn't expose it. So all it cost them is drywall, mud, tape, paint, new trim. That's it.
Mhm.
That would have cost us a fraction of what we paid.
We're not
but
like that.
That family would have been stuck with all the problems. Potentially a fire.
Like if we do another house downtown, we'll invite you out. Come
Okay.
see what we do because we
Come
rip
out to we have a couple of projects going on locally. One on Lime Ridge, and we have another in Stony Creek. If you want to come check it out, like we're doing a full underpinning on a place in Stony Creek. We'd love.
The only place I'm interested in going is your cottage.
Yes. Okay. We'll do that. We'll invite you out.
The True Hamiltonian.
Do you
guy wants
fish?
to get popcorn.
Huh?
Yeah.
Do you fish?
I do, actually.
Do you
That's all
drink
we
and
do in
fish?
Florida.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. The OPP's listing. Oh,
I love
we're
it.
gonna Burn these three fuckers.
Why don't we take a quick break?
Yeah.
And yeah,
And we'll close
this
out
is
the
a
show?
fascinating conversation. But yeah, we'll close it out with the incredible.
Wait. Before
Oh.
you leave, I
Oh.
just want to ask you one
Oh,
question.
we're
How are
not
you
closing.
feeling? Are you okay?
I feel good.
Okay.
I feel great.
Okay, just checking.
I've only had one bottle of wine. Come on. No, it's my shoulder. Listen,
Okay,
I
hold
did
on.
my
Before we go on the
I
break,
did my shoulder.
we
in.
need to hear what happened. What happened
Oh,
to your
yes.
shoulder?
What happened to your
All right,
shoulder?
so
What the fuck happened?
Not this past Saturday, but the previous Saturday. Okay, so I've had numerous shoulder problems. Anyone that knows me for shoulder problems, both sides.
Yeah.
Over 20 dislocations each side. Hockey, football, you name it.
Yeah.
But this past Saturday, I was put the kids down. My wife went out with her friends for like the first time in months, and I was like, you know what? Great. I have a quiet house. I'm going to be able to get some work done. Fantastic. Put the kids down myself. Started walking down the stairs. Stepped on one of their toys. Total yard sale. Total yard sale. Shoulder came out. Complete dislocation, and I've done it enough to know that it's a bigger problem than it's been before.
Yeah.
Like I've torn stuff.
Yeah.
Went to emerge. Turns out I broke my scapula too. Like it's been brutal. So I can't sleep at all. In the past like week and a half, on average I would say I'm sleeping an hour and a half a night. I'm exhausted. So I'm just like I'm like dying right now.
So you
know what I
didn't
mean?
try
Just to
to
get through
Mel
this.
Gibson, just wham it into
No,
the
I put it in myself.
yeah,
No, I
fucking
did.
lethal
So
weapon.
I did. I grabbed my arm, and
Yeah.
people have Greg has witnessed it.
Oh, hold on. We got Mel Gibson, Danny Glover.
Yeah.
and I'll be Joe Pesci.
Oh, Joe Pesci.
Is Joe Pesci still alive?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Yes, he
Is
is.
He
Of course,
hasn't
yeah, it's
done
Joe Pesci.
anything in forever.
Well, who wants to fucking hire a short fat guy?
I was gonna say that's a total '80s move right there.
Yeah.
No, but like my like, it's hard for me to even like conjure up a sentence right now because I'm so.
You're exhausted.
I'm
Okay,
absolutely
okay.
exhausted. I was up. I was up till like 5 o'clock in the morning last night.
Yeah.
And I slept for maybe 2 hours. That's the longest I've slept
Yeah.
consecutively in the past week and a half.
Those are the two things I can't do. I can't do lack of sleep. I turn into a bear. Like
Yeah.
I'm a massive ball of anger if I don't sleep.
I'm not in good shape.
And I have friends who fast all day.
Yep.
If I miss a meal, man, you do not want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Like I cannot miss a meal.
Max
This has
gets
been a
Food makes
brutal.
me happy.
This has been a
No
brutal
food
week
makes
and a
me
half.
not happy.
I've fasted for up to 80 hours once.
Oh,
But-
dude,
Oh, yeah.
no
I've
way.
done many
No.
72s and I've done one 80.
Like I would be flipping tables right now.
But like
Oh, it's-
even just doing this interview at night, I'm like physically I'm exhausted.
Oh.
I've been working so much lately, and yeah, like but again, like same as you. If I was just working a job,
Yeah.
I'm like fuck this. I'm taking some time off, whatever. But because I'm not, I'm like passionate about what I do,
Yeah.
and I keep working.
Yeah.
But like even though I'm like literally to tears. Like I can feel my eyes welling up a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to even like remember what I was talking about because sleep is so important.
Yeah, it is so important.
Yeah,
Oh.
like I feel it, and it's been really tough. So like, you know, even like the ride down here, I was like, I'm in a sling, like a full, you know, whatever, and I'm still holding my arm because every bump I feel.
Yeah.
And I've done this so many times. Usually within 2 or 3 days, I'm like, okay, I'm all right.
Yeah.
This has been a week and a half, and I still feel like my arm's falling off.
Oh,
so,
man.
like I'm going on for surgery soon, and you know, I'm in bad shape. But anyway, I'm staying positive. Keep moving forward. We're gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a pee, probably on the side of Steve's house. So,
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
well, folks, that's the show. Thanks for tuning in to the Renovating Life podcast. We appreciate you taking the time to watch us live, for subscribing on YouTube, and for sharing with a friend. We have an amazing guest, Max Francis, for taking his time and coming out and telling his story. People are interested in finding out more about you. Where can they find you?
I'm easy to find. You can find us at True Hamiltonian on Facebook, True Hamiltonian on Instagram, or True Hamiltonian on Twitter. We're on all three.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So until next time, I'm
Oh, wait.
Dan.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
I almost forgot. Website,
Website.
TrueHamiltonian.ca.
TrueHamiltonian.ca for your merch. Go buy a t-shirt. You have more than just t-shirts. You
Oh,
got
man. We started with just T-shirts, but every year people would ask us to add items. So now we've got everything from wine glasses to coffee mugs to
Right.
pillows to hats, you name it.
you name it.
Hold on, I want just butt in here a little
Oh
bit.
boy.
I
Stop the
want
music.
No, don't stop the music. The
Another
music's
15
long enough.
minutes.
Fuck off.
You know, there's only one thing that I'm not clear about. Actually, there is one thing.
One other thing. One more question, sir. About those sacks of gold.
Bring back the volleyball shirt.
Oh, I've had a few people.
My
ask for
oldest
the-
daughter is a volleyball player, and she wants the volleyball shirt.
I will make her a volleyball shirt.
Beautiful.
All right.
Volleyball shirts and all. You can go to truehamiltonian.ca.
CA.
Fantastic. So thank you, Max Francis, for coming in. We really appreciate it. So until next time, this is the Renovating Life podcast. My name is Dan Carroll, for producer Greg Natition and my co-host Steve Kopak, and our amazing guest Max Francis, urging you to go out there and to take a chance in your life, to seek discomfort and work like hell.
For more information on investing in real estate, visit battlefieldrei.com and follow us on Instagram at BattlefieldREI Inc. and at Renovating Hamilton. Music for the show provided by josephmcdade.com and voiceover by Mike Dawson.